Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am going to talk about Spider-Man Noir, or I guess the brand new Prime Original Spider-Noir television series. So this new series will release on the 27th of May, and obviously Sony is the one producing it, right? So, Spider-Noir is an upcoming American superhero noir television series developed by Oren Uziel, I think Steve Lightfoot, Phil Lord, Christopher Millen, and Amy Pascal for MGM Plus and Prime Video. Obviously, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, best known for their works, obviously from, let's see here, their filmography is quite good in my opinion. So, obviously, they're American filmmaking and acting duo. Their films are known for subversion of genre and detailed visual sensation, spanning various styles of live action and animation. Let's see here. They wrote and directed The Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Obviously, there's the 9 animated film, The Lego Movie, right? 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. Lord and Miller are best known, obviously, for Spider-Verse franchise, which won them the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Right, also Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse, The Last Man on Earth. They also produced and made Fox Unikitty, so there we go, which ran on Cartoon Network, and obviously the After Party for Apple TV Plus. So obviously they're very well known, and I think they also making is it the Project Hail Mary? Are those the ones who are making that one? I'm not quite sure. They also dropped out of the project of Solo, a Star Wars story, so that was quite sad, but there we go. But anyhow, yes, they actually also made, obviously, directed the film adaptation of Andy Weir's next novel, Project Hail Mary, right? With Ryan Gosling. So more on that and in a later or another video. But obviously now we're here to talk about Spider-Noir, right? So based on Marvel Comics featuring the character of Spider-Man Noir, the series follows an aging private investigator and superhero in the 1930s called Ben Reilly, obviously in New York City, who grapples with his past. Uziel and Lightfoot serves as showrunners of the series, which is produced by Sony Pictures and Amazon MGM Studios. It is set in an alternate universe within the Sony Spider-Man universe, SSU franchise. Obviously, the thing is, with the other projects of the Sony Spider-Man universe, they were not really that great. Like the Venom films, they were okay. Morbius, I haven't actually seen that one. Yes, I know it's the biggest meme. But anyhow, I've seen Madam Web, which was not really that great, and I haven't seen the Grave and the Hunter film yet. And they also wanted to make an El Muerto film with, like, I think Bad Bunny or something like that. But yeah, that got cancelled really fast. So anyhow, Spider Noir. This is the capital D, right? This is the series that they needed to make, because Spider Noir, it focuses on Spider-Man, or I guess Spider Noir, right? On a version of Ben Reilly, which is really interesting, and it's played by freaking Nicolas Cage, Nicky Cage himself. I mean, yes, of course, I'm excited for this series. Nicolas Cage stars as Ben Reilly, the Spider, in his first lead role in a television series, with Lamar Morris, Legion Lee, Karen Rodriguez, Abraham Popolo, Jack Huston, and Brendan Gleeson as also starring, right? So, obviously, Nick Cage is playing Ben Reilly, and Benjamin Ben Reilly, also known as Scarlet Spider, is a superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel. Obviously, grown in a lab by Miles Warren, aka the Jackal. He's a clone of Peter Parker, but obviously, in the series, they're going to, probably not mention that. They're just going to go with the name Benjamin Parker, or Benjamin Ben Reilly Parker, and I think that would make sense. I mean, it fits, right? It fits for like a detective, name. And in my opinion, I don't really care, because obviously Benjamin Ben Reilly Parker, I mean, it suits, right? And it doesn't really need to be about Peter Parker. Obviously, Spider-Man Noir is called Peter Parker, but I think in other comics, right? But now in the series, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? But I think that's doable, right? So there we go. Lamar Morris plays, I think, one of his buddies in the film, or in the series. My bad. He plays, I think, his companion. Legion Lee plays, obviously, Felicia Hardy, or something or someone along those lines, which is really interesting. I think her last name is Hardy in the series, which obviously references back to, obviously, one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, Black Cat, aka Felicia Hardy, aka obviously she appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but obviously the Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Man 3 never happened, so we never saw him or saw her ever again. So there we go. But Lee plays like a different version or like an alternate version of the Black Cat or the Cat or whatever. So there we go. Or like another alternate version of Felicia Hardy. And I think that's wonderful, right? Obviously, the Spider-Noir is set in 1930s, like black and white New York City. Obviously, you're going to watch the series in color or black and white. The two versions are going to be available when the series releases. But, I think alternate versions of certain characters are pretty alright. So Lee plays a different version of Black Cat. So there we go. We also have Brendan Gleeson, which plays the guess the main villain of this series, which is really cool, right? So there we go. He is like a mob boss or something. So there we go. The series was revealed to be in development in February 2023, with Uziel involved and Lightfoot was hired that December. Cage's casting was confirmed in May 2024 when the series was ordered and titled Noir, before it was retitled Spider-Noir. That July, filming took place in LA from August 2024 to March 2025. Spider-Noir is set to premiere on the 25th of May 2026 on MGM Plus in the United States and will consist of 8 episodes. All episodes will be released globally on Prime Video on May 27th. The series is being released in both black and white and obviously color versions. So the premise goes as follows. Ben Reilly, an aging down on his luck private investigator, grapples with his past life as the only superhero in 1930s New York, the Spider. When an exceptional case comes his way, Reilly must become the Spider once more. So there we go. Alright, I think that's really interesting. Obviously, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller described Reilly as an older and jaded and not afraid to punch a guy in the face drunkenly, and someone who already has his Chinatown disillusionment moment many years prior, with co-showrunner Orion Uziel saying despite trying to move behind his past, it keeps returning to haunt him. Right. Cage approached his performers as 70% Humphrey Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny. Humphrey Bogart you might know obviously from the movie Casablanca, but also obviously from the movie, oh boy, it's like on the tip of my tongue, what is it? I think it's the something Maltese Falcone, right? Yeah, there we go. So that's also like a noir detective film. So Maltese Falcone and Casablanca, and obviously there we go. It was also a question today, which fun fact, today on my on campus where I'm at university, they did like a little quiz, and that was actually one of the questions. Obviously, Humphrey Bogart played in what movie? So yes, the answer was Casablanca. Anyhow, so there we go. Obviously, he also looked at actors James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson for their performance, Cage says. So there we go. Lamar Morris as Robbie Robertson, Riley's friend and a hard-working freelance journalist who pursues riskier stories to garner attention and progress his career. So there you go. Obviously, Uziel said Robertson is optimistic and thinks he's lucky and it's all going to work out with his investigations, compared to Riley, who is the opposite and a cynic. Lu Jin Lee as Cat Hardy. Ooh, yes, nice. A femme fatale nightclub singer with ties to an underground conspiracy. Dude, this is some straight-up David Lynch kind of Twin Peaks shit. Man, holy shit. A femme fatale nightclub singer with ties to an underworld conspiracy. This is fantastic. So there you go. Hardy's characterization was inspired by an amalgamation of actors Anna May Wong, Rita Hayworth, Laura Bacall, and Kim Basinger. Basinger, I'm not quite sure. Karen Rodriguez as Janet, Riley's secretary and fellow investigator. Uziel likened Janet to Effie from the film The Maltese Falcone from 1941, and character that can be helpful, that the PI can lean on, that can be hard on him, but loves him. Obviously, Abraham Popolo as World War I veteran who is searching for an opportunity to get ahead. Jack Huston as Flint Markle, a bodyguard, aka the Sandman. Brendan Gleeson as Silvermane, a New York mob boss with connections to Riley's past, who has been the target of multiple assassination attempts. Gleeson described the character as a philosopher with a drowned eye view who is equally dangerous. So Lucas Hayes as an absurdiant of Silvermane. So there we go. Other actors cast in undisclosed roles are Cameron Britton, Gary Christopher, Michael Kostroff, Scott MacArthur, Joe Messingill, Whitney Rice, Amanda Scholl, Andrew Lewis Caldwell, Amy Igueno, and Andrew Robinson. Kai Kasser as an individual who has a special connection to another character in the series, and Richard Robichaud, I think, as the editor of Daily Bugle. So there we go. The series will consist of 8 episodes, of all which will be released on May the 27th, 2026. So there we go. So that is very, very cool, right? So there are a couple of interesting villains that are going to appear in this show. Like I said, Fred Marco, aka the Sandman. Also, obviously, Brendan Gleeson as Silvermane. We also have, it looks like Man Spider, the Vulture, the Scorpion, or whatever. Some of these characters are seen in the trailer, which is really, really interesting. So there we go. So yeah, I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy that Nick Cage is involved because he also played Spider-Noir in obviously the Spider-Verse films, and he will return for, I think, Beyond the Spider-Verse, right? So there we go. And obviously he was shown in the ending of Across the Spider-Verse, right? So the second film. So there we go. So Tracy Fields served as a costume designer after previously designing a power supersuit worn by Donald Glover for a live-action sequence in the animated film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, while Warren Allen Young was a production designer after working on the Marvel television series Runaways. Oh, that is interesting. So there we go. Alright. Music, Chris Bowers and Michael Dean Parsons were revealed in February 2026 to compose the scores for the series. So there we go. Alright, that is very, very cool. The spider as seen in the authentic black and white release and the 3-hue full color release from both trailers look very, very cool. So yeah, I'm really excited because I think this gives us an opportunity to see more of Sony's Spider-Man universe. Obviously, Sony is still planning to make like a Spider-Punk film with Daniel Kaluuya, right? And also like a Gwen Stacy animated film voiced by Haley Steinfeld. They're also going to work on a couple of other projects. And I'm really happy that they shelved like the villains away from obviously Madam Web wasn't really that great, Morbius wasn't really that great, Venom was okay, but you know, could have been better, right? So obviously Spider-Man Brand New Day will also release this year, and it's really cool that obviously Spider-Man Brand New Day and Spider-Noir will release the same day. And obviously we also have Avengers Doomsday releasing in December. So I guess we're eating pretty well, pretty good. I think the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Disney Plus series is also going to be released this year, but I haven't watched that first season yet. Still need to figure that out, or you know, I still need to figure out when I'm going to watch that too. So, alright, ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Noir looks really cool. I'm a big sucker for like, you know, detective noir stories. I really like that aesthetic, right? You know, I think those stories are always so fun to watch. And I think Nick Cage in this series is absolutely going to steal the show. And I think obviously Christopher Miller and Phil Lord are involved. So this will be a banger. And I'm pretty sure this will be really good for the Sony Spider-Man universe. And, you know, hopefully we're going to get like a second season, a third season maybe. This could work out. If the first season works out, the other seasons will also work out. And obviously after that they can, you know, try to do something else with like other characters from Spider-Man, because Sony owns every single Spider-Man character. They just, you know, team up with like Marvel to make like the Avenger films and the MCU films. But, you know, Sony still has like the rights to most of the Spider-Man characters, like the villains obviously and Spider-Man himself. But you know, they just need to make, you know, good creative decisions. Like Phil Lord and Christopher Miller know what they're doing because obviously they worked on the Spider-Verse films. This now obviously worked on the Spider-Noir series, and can't wait to see where they're going to go after this series releases. So alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye everyone.